Welcome to our YouTube visitors. We're on YouTube. Now let's get on our Facebook group as we're starting day 3 of our online business boot camp. Let's see, I think it's trying. Excellent. So welcome everybody. We are live on YouTube and in our Facebook group and on Zoom. Let me get the chat up. Welcome for those who are on the chat. And I have a note here. Remember to record. So let me record this and we'll get going. We're a minute early. So welcome to our day 3 of the online business bootcamp. I'm Stacy Paulson, and I will be sharing some things that I just love this stuff. So if this is your first day, I hope that you'll catch the replays. You'll find the registration link if you haven't already registered, so that you can get the replays. They'll be up for a few days. And so Monday, we talked a little bit more about setting yourself up for success. We talked about different types of income streams, whether that's earned income or trying to create time and financial freedom through creating residual and passive income type streams. And then yesterday, we talked about a lot of different business ideas, strategies, resources, and you do have the bootcamp workbook and then also the 7-step jumpstart. So you have those 2 resources, and I hope that you have taken the time to get some clarity on where you want to be, and then also getting a little more clear on what's the next steps for you as far as creating those things that you're wanting to do. Now, I do have Faye, one of my business partners, who should be in the Facebook group. She'll be kind of admitting there. But for those who are in Zoom, you're welcome to post in the chat or unmute if you have questions at any time, or hold them to the end, whatever you'd like to do. And then for those who are in the Facebook group or on YouTube, that I will go at the end and look at any questions, comments. But please, I would love for you to share what your takeaways have been so far, whether you've joined live or you've watched the replays. You can put those in the chat or in the group discussions there. But today, what we're going to be talking about is how we can make creating an online business easier, because there's a lot of different ways we can do it. And so I want to share with you some different things that you can do to make your journey online a lot easier, a lot smoother. And I like to use this analogy of we get a great idea, and it might be like we are in New York and we want to go to LA, right? Like that's what we see. That's where we want to go. That's our vision. That's our online business. And we're clear on what type of income we want to be generating. We also are looking at the lifestyle that we're trying to create, that I'm not going to be overwhelmed or burned out, and I'm going to be able to be present, and this income is flexible, and whatever that is for you, right? So that's our LA. And you're in New York. Now, you'll want a map. So let's just say there's not airplanes and highways or whatever, right? Think old times. You needed a correct map in order to get there. If you had a map that was incorrect, your likelihood of going from New York to LA was probably pretty slim, right? I'm going to apologize right now because I might end up having some noise. Cleaners were not able to reschedule, so there might be some vacuuming at some point that comes. Sorry, I'll apologize right now. I just turned it turn on. So you'll want to create, you'll want to have a correct map. And for me, I'm thinking in business, how this applies is that you want to have a map that is like we know that it works, that it's accurate, right? Because there's so much information on there of how to create an online business, and a lot of it's inaccurate. People are just selling things to create quick income, but they're not vetted people who have actually done the thing that they're teaching you to do, or in a way that that you're really wanting. So you're thinking, I'm trying to get to New York, or even think of like if you want to see a sunset, but you're always facing east, you're never going to see it, right? Because the sunset's in the west. So you'd have to turn, get a correct map, get that. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that map for online business. And then the second thing that in this analogy is thinking about the vehicle, like how you're going to get there. Are you going to be using your feet to get there? Are you going to be using like a horse, a buggy, a car? Maybe it's a Tesla. Maybe it's railway, right? maybe it's an airplane, maybe it's a super fast jet. Like there's multiple ways of getting there as far as vehicle, and each one has different costs. Each one has a different amount of time that it would take, right? And maybe a different path depending on the vehicle, right? So I want to be thinking about the vehicle as kind of the tools that we're using to get and create our online business. So there are certain tools or vehicles that we want to be aware of. And then third is if we're traveling, before there were roads and all these things and GPS on our phone, that we often needed a guide. There was somebody that blazed the trail, or there might be a driver for the airplane, right? That's taking us there. Like oftentimes we may need a guide to speed that up. If you're wanting to work as you're traveling to LA, then you might want to take rail and somebody's navigating the railway or the airplane. So you want to be thinking about this as a guide. And in our businesses, there's lots of opportunities to receive guides. So that could be somebody's teaching you on a YouTube video. It could be information on a blog post. It could be maybe a course that you took on this specific thing. It could be listening to different podcasts, reading different books. It could be an actual person who's mentoring you, or a group that you're a part of. So just knowing that there's guides that can help you to get from where you're at right now to where you want to be. And the purpose of the guide is to help you, to save you time, right? Just like the vehicles that we may have, there are some that will save you time. And so I want to kind of go through each of these as far as in online business, what you need to be aware of as far as first your map, then your vehicle, and then a guide or guides. So this map, and we talked about this whole idea of if you're trying to create a lifestyle that you have time freedom and income freedom, that there are certain maps that will get you there. There's certain strategies that have been proven to get you there. And there's others that they will never get you there, right? That they won't create the time freedom, or they won't produce the type of income that will do that. So that's why we're talking about earned income. Might be that seed income that gets things going, but that might only get you to your next stop on your way to LA. So you might have a goal of I need to increase my income to be able to pay for my debts and my obligations. And then I need to create a little extra income to be able to invest in a business and purchase some of the things that I might need, or education that I need, so learning some new skills, right? So if we get clarity that we're wanting to create that residual income, that passive income, and we are clear on the lifestyle, how we want to do that, as far as I don't want to be overwhelmed and be crazy, and I do want to do it online. So there's some flexibility in this, and it's going to get noisy with that vacuum. So I'll talk into the mic. Hopefully let me know if it gets too bad. I'll tell it just to not vacuum. So with that, some of the maps, and there's different routes. Like if you're going from New York to LA, there's different routes. Even when you're in an airplane, they might route you different ways. So some of the ways to create that income online, affiliates, that is probably an easy, fast way to create some income online. And the reason why is you are just promoting somebody else's product or service. So I recommend everyone having this as an income stream if you are online. It may not come initially at first. You might not have a following. You may not have an email list. You may not have that to be able to promote to people yet, but I want you to be keeping that in mind, that as those opportunities come up to be an affiliate for something, maybe you love a product that aligns with something else that you're doing, just be mindful of that. Do they have an affiliate program? And just know, the more expensive the thing or the service, usually the larger the affiliate commission will be. So if you're an affiliate for, say there's a program that's $5,000 and you did it and it was amazing, and then now you can promote it to other people who are like you and want to get that same result, that you'll probably earn a larger commission for that than if it were a smaller program, or if it were a larger product that cost more, like a water system, right? It might be $2,000. I have a friend who sells them, and I think the largest one is $15,000 to purchase this water filtration system for their home. But the commission that comes from that as an affiliate is huge compared to maybe just a smaller product that you're promoting that's on Amazon and your affiliate. But just keep that in mind, that that is something that you can put into place online to create income as you're moving forward. So just keep that in mind. Another way that you can start creating a business quickly is through partnerships, right? You might have friends or family, associates, college roommates, whoever that is, that maybe they're also wanting to create a business. Maybe they've already started the idea and that you can partner together. Sometimes it's just more fun having more minds to be able to work together on that. It can be a little less scary. You might feel like it's less risky if you find people that maybe they have strengths in certain areas and you have strengths in certain areas and you're collaborating, you're working together. So partnerships can be a great thing as well. So I have some friends who are nurses and they've collaborated on creating a YouTube channel, and they're educating moms how to take care of their health from a nurse's standpoint, so that moms are educated to take care of a lot of things that they could be taken care of. So they're a little more confident in when they should maybe go to the doctor, or the things they can just take care of at home. And they work really well together in a partnership. Now, the other one that I absolutely love and has brought the most income into our system as far as residual income is through network marketing. And I know there's a lot of people who are naysayers. Maybe you've tried something and it didn't work, or you had a friend that tried something and it didn't work. And I do want to talk about some things you need to understand about network marketing. It is just math. And so I try to help people to see, when you're looking at a network marketing business opportunity, you have to understand who is running it, like the corporation. What are their values? Do you align with the values that they're putting forth? Do you align with the product or service they're offering? Is it something that you can put your name behind, right? If it's not, then usually I don't think it's a good fit. You're just doing that for money, and you're kind of the used car salesman, and like, I'm just selling this for money. I don't really use it or like it or whatever. That also gives network marketing a bad rap. So make sure that you align with the values of the company, you align with the product or the service. And then, I'm sorry, it's getting loud out there. And then in addition, you really need to understand their compensation plan. There have been a lot of network marketing companies that have gone out of business recently. And the number one reason is because of their compensation plan was not structured in such a way that it was sustaining what was going on. There were a few, like the products were not very good. There were a few that the company leaders just made really poor decisions. And so if this is something that you are either in, just get really clear and focused, and you want to be confident in the corporation, in that structure, in the product and the service, and really get educated on what those things are, understand the value that you have with those things, and then also really understand the compensation plan. Because here's what I believe often happens with network marketing and why people have a bad taste in their mouth, if you have had that, is that you just don't understand the math. Because a compensation plan within a network marketing company is just math. If you do 1 + 1, it equals 2. That is what that compensation plan says for you. And so you need to be able to evaluate that and say, okay, so if I do this, this, and this, then this is what I get paid. And then if I do this, this, and this is what I get paid. That's just what it is. It's just math. And so if you have a hard time doing XYZ to earn this, then what that says is it may not be a compensation plan problem. It may not be a product or service problem or a corporation problem. It might be you need to learn the skills in order to do X, Y, and Z so that you can get paid for that, right? And so that's often just taking 100% responsibility for what you're doing to move yourself forward in your growth to do that. And why I love network marketing, not all companies, but the concept of it. And initially I did not like it. So when I was in business school, I was in marketing classes, and one of the professors, one of the few women professors actually, she was talking about how terrible network marketing was, that it's a pyramid scheme, stay away from it. So this is like my mindset over 25 years ago, was that, okay, stay away from those things. People ask you to do a party or do that thing. Like, I don't do that stuff. So it's just in my head, like, I don't do that stuff. And because I really didn't understand it. She wasn't really teaching truth about what the whole concept and principle of network marketing was. And it's basically that there's a company that instead of having a marketing department and a sales force and all of that and marketing traditionally, they're letting the people who are using their product be able to market it. It's kind of like an Amazon affiliate, but instead of just getting paid a one-time commission when somebody buys from your affiliate link, and this is the difference, is that you can have lifetime commissions from that person that you introduce to that product or service. And that's really where the power of network marketing comes in. And they say multi-level marketing is because you get paid on multiple levels. When you're an affiliate for something, you just get paid generally the one time. Sometimes you might get paid multiple times if it's a subscription thing, but generally they don't set it up like that. But you'll just get paid on one level. So every individual that you introduce to that product or service, so somebody clicked on my Amazon link to buy that diffuser, I would get a small commission. Now, if they go back to Amazon, and want to order another one, I don't get paid a commission. But what happens with network marketing is that people become connected to you. So and if Amazon changed this, where I introduced somebody and they used my link, and then every single time that they purchased from Amazon, I got paid a little bit, would be awesome, right? That's basically what this is, that you can get paid over and over again for the people that you introduce to these products or services. And so if they're good products and people are finding value from them, then they will purchase over and over again. And especially if they're consumable products, which is kind of nice if you're in a network marketing company where they're using these on a regular basis, on a daily basis, that they're consuming them. And they're finding value on that. So it might be like toothpaste or deodorant or some type of food supplement, right? Where people are using them, but they're also seeing a difference in their life. And every time they go back to make a purchase, that you're still getting a commission for years to come. That's the power of this. And then also if those people that you introduce to that product or service, then introduce other people, you also get paid a small commission on that. And that's where the name of multi-level marketing is, because there's different levels. So you might have introduced certain people, but those people might have said, hey, this is awesome, you should try this. And so the people that they introduce, you also get paid a small commission, and then it continues down. So like with doTERRA, the company that I'm with, they pay on up to 7 levels. So I don't have to, share with everybody in the world, right? And market to everyone. I can help a few, and they help a few, and then they help a few. And it creates, instead of addition, it creates multiplication within my organization. It's kind of like a family. You have a few kids, and then those kids grow up. They might get married and have some more kids, and then they grow up and have some more kids. You did not have all those kids. You had a few, right? But you think of like generations past, how many people are related to that couple that had one child, right? There's like so many people that are their posterity. That's kind of the same idea, is imagining that, how that can grow and multiply, yet you did not have to have all those children. So that's the power of network marketing. And for me, it's brought in the most income, and it's brought it in a way that didn't require a lot of time, because the system was already set up. The products were already set up, created, some of the marketing materials were already there, education around that. When somebody orders, they go to a website that's already created. The system is in place to pay me my commissions. It's just all set up, those things. I just have to get really good at promoting the product, helping people, seeing the needs that other people have. I'm sorry, it's getting noisy again. Seeing the needs that people have and serving them, connecting them to solutions. And then the network marketing company pays me those commissions instead of keeping that for themselves. And each network marketing company, they have a certain percentage that they will pay out on commissions. And so that's how even just a regular business does. They have a certain amount that they will allocate to different, like their marketing department. This is how much that we'll put into promotions and advertising, and then all of the other stuff, right? So in a network marketing company, they set aside a certain amount that gets paid out as commissions. So that's just something to be aware of. I've probably been doing about 13 years, have been paid over $4.5 million through network marketing. And it's probably more than that. I'd have to go back and add those up. And I think about if I had just stayed on the trajectory of like a corporate job, whether I was working part-time and being home, with my kids, or full-time, Or if I was, doing something online that I had to create myself, it's possible definitely to create that. It just wouldn't have been as easy as it was for me to be able to do this business because it's already created, right? So with that, I have over 72 multiple six-figure income earners, 58 who are over six figures, and then over 1,000 who have created a 5,000 or a five-figure income. And what's nice about this is these are residual incomes. These aren't, well, if I quit today and I don't do this anymore, then it's all gone. Just like with the job, I quit the job, I'm not going to continue to get paid. That this has created some financial freedom and time freedom for these individuals and families. And so for me, that's super powerful. And if I had just been in a job doing my thing, I don't think I would have the impact that I've had on people's lives, on their household, on their families that I've had by helping others to get connected to this tool, this system, this map that's out there. And so that is just another one to be looking into. And it has such a low cost to get started compared to traditional online business, which I'm going to go into some of the tools. Like if you're wanting to go online, there are some tools that you will need to have in order to be successful. And when you get started, and if you don't have like income, like extra income to invest in some of these tools, there are a lot of free things that you can do to kind of mix and match to get started. But then as your income increases, then you might want to switch to some of these tools because the tools will actually save you time. So it's like instead of walking to LA, you are flying in the airplane now. And so you're able to go faster, but you're also able to exert less energy, less time in some of these things because you're using some of the tools as automations to save you time from doing some of the things manually that you might have to do if you're doing kind of the do-it-yourself project, right? And there's not a right or wrong. You just kind of have to evaluate for yourself. Where am I at? What am I willing to put into this? Am I willing to, pay for the flight to get there? Am I going to pay for the airplane? So now I own an airplane to get there. There's different costs depending on the different resources. So I'm going to show you what I use. Let me share my screen. And I will then correlate this to maybe some freebies that you could use to get started if you're not ready to invest and use like a complete system. And this literally has changed my life as far as online business. Before I was doing things like just piecing things together. Okay, this is cheap and free. I'm going to do this. This is cheap and free. I'm going to do this, or super low cost. And I was like just doing what I needed to do to get things going. And then this has just changed things for me. Let's see, share my screen. And I hope on Facebook and YouTube again that I got the right setup going. So I use something, it's called Go High Level, and it is kind of an all-in-one, everything that you need for an online business. But generally when people are getting started, it's way more than you need. So this is generally not where I have people start. This is something that I would kind of put out there is, okay, you may want to get there, right? You may want to get there because this is going to save you so much hassle and so much trouble. But some of the things, and this is going to look like, crazy. And there's some pages I don't want to show you just as far as privacy, or I guess on the replay, I can fuzz it out if I do, because I just don't want to be showing people's private information. So in online business, if you're doing things online and not just through, say, social media, because you can do a lot of things if you're just showing up on social media and sending them somewhere to purchase your thing, your service, your product. If you're with network marketing company, you can send them directly to like the page, right? So you wouldn't necessarily have to have a website. And there are some really either inexpensive or free websites that you can create. Even just a kind of a link tree where it just has the links. So if, for instance, you're on Instagram and you want to create something where you're referring people to, go check out my link in bio, that you can have your link tree. There's just Google it. There's a lot of different companies that offer it, and generally they'll offer them for free. And then you can put your links in there. So this might be your course. This might be your freebie. You can put those in. So you're referring people to those things, but you will want to have, so on this one, with Go High Level, and there's agencies who use this. The big company is Go High Level. And then I use one is through Social Fox, because I get extra support from this agency that if I have a problem or need some like advice, strategy, they help out in that way. But you can have unlimited funnels. And I will show you, and if you're not familiar with a funnel, that's basically a web page, but there's just one intention on that page is to get the person to do the thing. So that might be if you're offering a course, you're offering to teach people how to do XYZ, you have an expertise in gardening and you want people to buy your intro to gardening in a city, training, whatever that is, you would have a funnel page. And so you can have unlimited amount of funnels in here. And so the business bootcamp funnel, I will show you what it looks like, is these are the different pages of the funnel. So when you came in and registered for that, this is where I had created it at. And you can change all of this within here. There's templates. So you can just pick a template and then you can customize it and put all, whoops, that one's small for me. Just customize it, put all the things on here. And then if they click on this, they fill out the form, which again, in here, I can create the form. It would go to the next page, which is kind of like, thank you. And then here's, if you want the VIP experience and here's what you get from it, they can go to this page and then the thank you page. So after they register, here's kind of your next steps that you need to do for that. So all of these are created in here, unlimited. Generally people will start with one. And so that's what I recommend is that if you get clear on what it is that you're offering, and we talked about the value ladder, right? So we have a freebie that kind of helps get people into your system where you're getting their emails or their phone numbers into your system. So they become these leads for you. And then what's the next thing? You might have a low ticket offer, a low price thing that they can pay for that is providing a little more value to them in that solving that problem that they're working on. And then you might have like your offer, like the thing that's going to produce more income for you, but it's also going to get bigger results for someone. So as far as freebies, like I have different lead magnets. It's kind of like you're attracting the leads, you're attracting the people, right? That's where that word came from. And so there's different ones. The one that produces the most for me is an essential oil guidebook. And basically people just fill out the form and then there's some other things that take place. So you'll want to be able to create that lead magnet and be able to deliver it to people. So as far as freebie, how you could do that, Google has a lot of things that you can use initially for free. So you can actually create a Google form where people will fill that out if they're saying like, hey, yeah, I want your thing for free. I want your PDF. I want your video. I want your checklist thing, right? That they could fill out a form that you created free in Google if you have a Google account. And then you would get notified, hey, somebody filled out your form, and then you could manually send that to them. That's like a really cheap, easy way to get started. It doesn't look super professional, but I mean, people are dealing with like a lot of people just want real, authentic people, right? That they don't necessarily need professional. So be thinking about that. If I don't have money, but I know there's something of value and I know people want it, don't let like the system or technology or the cost of it stop you. Like get started and create that. So you could do that in Google, create the form, and then be sending the emails manually to deliver that. It could be housed in a Google Doc, in a Google folder, and you just send them the link. I share more about that, in another training, but you can just send them the link. Like, here's where you can access that thing. Even if it's a video, you can upload the video to your Google Drive and then share the link to that. You can create a YouTube channel and house all of your stuff for free in there. And you can put it unlisted if you don't want everyone to see it, like that's your thing. And then when they opt in for that video training, that you just send them the link to the unlisted thing. So there's ways to work around, but you do want something to be able to create a form that people can opt into, and then a freebie, and then also be able to deliver that through email or text. And so in this system with, let me go back to sites. So you can have as many funnels as you want, and there's templates in there. If you want to have a website, websites are kind of dead, but it's more like people will go and check you out, but nothing really happens on them unless you're driving traffic to it. There's a whole different strategy on that. So a lot of people think that they need a website. You mostly need funnels. You need to direct people because there's so much attention. If you send somebody to a website and you have a bunch of things like, oh, you can do this, and then you do this and do this, they generally will do nothing. But it can be used as just to bring up your credibility, because people will check you out. Because what's your natural tendency when you're checking someone out? You'll go to their social media profiles, right? Like, oh, are they on Facebook? Are they Instagram? Where are they at? What does that look like? Do I align with that? Does that seem weird? Is her face not even like, is not even showing? It's like her cat, or you're not even sure, right? Like you don't build trust with people by putting your cat as your profile picture. And so just natural tendencies are people are going to be checking out where you're at online. And so that might be something you want to clean up, and be consistent, generally having the same picture on all different places, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, like all these different places. And even if you're not going to be on there, people will check out. And so you can go create your profile on there, from the solution statement from the 7-step jumpstart. Like once you get your solution statement and you know who you want to serve and how you want to serve them, you can put that in all of these different places on social media, right? Okay, you can create forms in here. The other thing that you will want is be able to email, and a lot of people will start through using their own personal email, which is fine. But over time, if you're serious about creating an online business, you will want to have your own domain. I recommend you go buying your own name if you haven't already, because that's just an easy one. Pay $10, have that as a domain to be able to use, even if you're not knowing what to do with it yet. You can pick other ones, but at least your name. And if your name is not available, you might like Google some alternatives for your name that would be useful. And if you have like a weird personal email, like I don't say weird, but you created it back in 2000 or something. Like my kids have C Noodle 10. Doesn't sound super professional, so you might want to change it if you're using your personal email. And Gmail really does work best with online things, and that will connect with all of your Google things if you're using Google Docs, Google Forms, spreadsheets, folders. It's just a really easy way to do things, as far as a tool. And then as far as email, so in here, I can create all the emails that I want, unlimited. And it's nice because I can copy and reuse them and then just tweak them. So this was for the boot camp, like all the emails that were going out as far as reminders. And then we had started in July promoting this to my list of almost 5,000 people, sending out some different things. And I can just go in and change them, edit them, copy them, and then I can put them in automations. And what automations are is this saves you so much time that you can pre-create what you're going to send to people. You can have those scheduled to go out. So in here, like for the boot camp, when people filled out the form, they went into several different automations. One of those were the boot camp reminders. And this is just something that is set up just so that, okay, 48 hours, this is the email that I created. That's the email that you received, just saying, hey, here's your link inside. And then I was able to send a text, and here's the text. And it just automatically went out. This waited until 2 days before the event. So I didn't have to like, okay, I have this thing coming up. Hey guys, remember we have this. And then your whole life is centered around trying to remind people, or did you even open that freebie? You can just set that up, automate that. It saves you so much time. And this will just go through and do those things for you. It can even put in automations, like if you need a reminder, like, oh, remember to finish this automation or remember to do this. You can send personal reminders. So I really love having some type of system that has those automations involved there. And this, when people fill out your form, it creates them as a contact. And so in there, I won't show you here because it will give all the information, but that's where then you can go to their contact card, and it will track, the system will track all the interactions that they've had with you. So if they downloaded my freebie, I can see like, oh, this is where they first got into my system, is that they downloaded this thing. Here's the form that they filled out. Here's the questions that they answered. And it's tagged them as, oh, they're interested in this, 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 and this. And so I know that if, for instance, someone said that they were interested in sleep things, like that was a problem that they were dealing with, that I can do a search for everybody that's tagged with sleep. And so if I have this special that's coming up, maybe there's this product that is specific for sleep and they're having a sale on it, or we're doing this sleep challenge, that I can then go find all those people in my contacts, that were interested in this. And then I can send them an email or a text, say, hey, this is coming up, right? And so it creates a really good system, and it's just so easily integrated. Whereas before I had like Flowdesk was a certain system that I created certain things, and I had my website, which is a different thing. And then I had, like with my texting, I did some different things. So, but this is all integrated together in there. And I'm trying to think anything else on here, sites, marketing. So those are things that you'll really want to be thinking about, how you're going to communicate with people, how are you going to deliver on different things online for them. And then also what's cool in here is that they actually have where you can house your courses. So before I had courses, they were in Thinkific. And there's some places where they'll let you do some free courses, store some free stuff. But then at some point you need to pay to have more. And what's fun is like, this is one flat fee. You get the emails, you get the text, you get the unlimited websites or funnels and website pages and contacts and all of the stuff integrated. Plus you get to house your courses in here, and they call them products that you offer. So the Bootcamp VIP, this was one of the products or courses. And this is just where you start putting the things, and then you can send that to them. Like, hey, you can log in and access the thing that you just purchased, right? Or maybe you have a freebie course, like a mini something, and that's your freebie. Like you can house it in here. Now, if you want to do kind of the free way, do it yourself type thing, you still can do that, right? Like you can set up like a Stripe account, PayPal, like Google that there's a way, and you'll have to pay a little fee for those, but there is a way to do that. You can even set it up through Venmo, right? Why people are just directly paying you, and then you're going to deliver those freebies, those videos, or that information that they're buying could be in a Google folder, and now you're giving them access to that. I mean, it could be that just as you're moving up and creating more income or wanting to invest more, that just know that like this type of thing is already created for you. And then what's fun is they just barely added community. So this is kind of like, I don't know if you've used been in a circles group. It's kind of like a Facebook group, but it's not on Facebook. That's why it's nice. But this can either be paid, like people can be a part of your community. So if you have, for instance, a subscription system where people like $50 a month, you're part of this community. I teach you like a new thing each week, and then maybe there's a Q&A for this thing. It could be a part of that. You might want to set that up. A lot of people will do it through Facebook because it's free. But also Facebook can be a distraction. And there's a lot of people who don't want to be on Facebook or don't have a Facebook account. So this is just another thing that's available in here to be able to do that. Has all of your media storage as far as files and videos and PDFs, like you can store all of those unlimited. They also have some free things that you have access to, which we have access to. So if you need, like Canva is a great tool to use, and there's some free images that come if you're needing an image for something. But this is just really nice. It's all integrated, the payment system, somebody wants to check out, you integrate with your social media. So all my conversations go through right here. So I don't actually have to jump on Facebook and go to like Facebook Messenger. I don't have to go to like Instagram DMs, text messaging. It's all integrated right there. Even the phone number. So I can make calls through this if I want them recorded, so I can look back and like, hey, could I have changed that conversation? Like, just know this is the Mac Daddy of everything. And this is what I've used, and it's changed everything for me. It's saved me so much time and has created tremendous amount of results from it, versus kind of mashing it together. But like I said, if you're just getting started, this is kind of like buying, like we just got a Tesla, and like, I have no idea, like all the features, right? And I'm just like, I don't need all the frills and things for driving. I just need it to get me to where I'm going and whatever. But other people, it might need those frills. But just know, like, where are you at? What do I need right now to get started, to get moving? But know, like, the bigger picture, that if you start feeling overwhelmed, like I am answering so many of the same questions, there might be an automation for that. So if it's the same questions that you're getting through text, like I have it set up, if somebody texts the word help, can you help me, somewhere help, that I have like an automation that goes to them. You can also say, hey, text this if you want to get this. You can set it right up in here. You can also do some of those for free, I think, like with ManyChat and also Facebook Messenger. Just know there's automations to save you time, but there oftentimes are a little bit of cost with that. I know my son and daughter-in-law use this. They are full-time college students. They just barely had their first baby, our first grandchild, and they have been combining network marketing and some online social media to create residual income. So they are earning about $1,500 a month extra, doing this very part-time. But they're also integrating some of these systems to save themselves time because they don't have a lot of time. I have another friend Tisha, who was in business, just working, a job. And then she finally quit. She was making about $6,000 a month. And now she's making $20,000 a month online, teaching some of the skills that she knew from her job. I have another friend, Jessica, who is a nurse who has gone online. She built a course around like newborn stuff because she's a NICU, ICU newborn nurse. And so she has like a course that she created there, and she has created a 6-figure income and doing this part-time instead of her full-time job on those weird hours, those 12-hour shifts, which she's like, it's killing me. So just know there's some tools to speed up your thing, your process. And then the last thing that can make it easier for you is for sure a guide. Now, a guide can look many different ways. I know when I first got started, my first business, it was me just seeing, what was out there online that I could learn from. Now there's so much online. Sometimes that can be confusing because you're like, do I trust that? Is that accurate? But if you can find a trusted source, generally there's like a YouTube video. So for instance, when I was trying to set up, because Facebook changed their streaming from Zoom into Facebook groups, like they axed it, and then you had to do these little workarounds that I just found some lady that had put that up. She had created that for her freebie. She was teaching people how to Zoom into Facebook groups because she was a business coach, right? That was what she was offering for free. I downloaded it. Like I didn't need all of her other things, but I did want her PDF and her video that walked me through. Okay, go here, click this, tap that. Okay, copy this stream key. Okay, copy this next thing, and just walked me through it. Super easy. She was my guide, and it was for free. So just be thinking about who can guide you on that next step to make it go faster for you. And if you're limited on income, like what freebies are there? There might be a course that you need to take on certain thing. I've taken lots of courses. I've been in lots of masterminds, and I love them. Like I love putting my money there so I can speed up my process. I love having a coach. I love all that. When I first got started, like at first I was a little like, oh, I can do this all myself. And for 2 years, as I was moving online, it was slow because I thought I just need to go cheap. I grew up in like with just you do it all yourself. You do it all yourself. Like that was my thing. And you can do it all yourself. It just takes you longer. And so once I shifted to like, oh, I could pay someone to speed this up, would that be valuable for me? If I could do this in a day versus 2 weeks, could I be creating more income because I'm going faster? And that's what I found that it was. And you have to be wise on where you're going to invest, because I've also invested in things that some people would say unwise. I just say, if it wasn't useful, I just learned a really expensive lesson. Because I've spent a lot of money on different masterminds and things, and sometimes it didn't align. But my mindset is like, well, it maybe wasn't the education that I thought, but I did get educated. So some other thing like books, you can read books, podcasts that might help you. You can have mentorships or groups, collaborate with other people who are doing these things. So just know that a guide really can speed things up. You just want to trust that they know what they're talking about. They've done the thing that they're teaching you about. So be really intentional about that. And also be careful not to just to get into learn mode. If there is a certain goal, like you are clear on, I'm trying to get here. I'm going from New York to LA, and my next stop is just here, right? What do I need in order to get there? That's where you should be focusing your education, the tools on, is kind of that next thing. And sometimes we get in this growth mindset, which is awesome, but we start listening to things that we may not specifically need, and they can end up being squirrels for us. Like we go all over the place, right? Instead of saying, okay, well, I don't know how to create a freebie. Like I know what it is, but I don't know how to like physically create the PDF or make it pretty, or to create the page that people would opt into. Like, I just don't know. So you would be focusing on getting a guide, whether that's watching a video, joining a group, buying a course, whatever that is, to help you to do that next thing. And you may not need to be listening to like all this other stuff about mindset on maybe, but just be mindful that what I've seen a lot of online entrepreneurs get into is that they get into learn mode and it so fills your bucket that they're not in taking action mode, execution mode. And so just be mindful, like be listening, watching, reading, learning the thing that you need to learn next, not just general things. So be very mindful of that. And I'm just trying to see if there's anything else on that I want to share. Also, one of the things, like when you decide you are going to go to your next level, there's going to be a lot of naysayers. I'll stop sharing that. They do. They just show up and they think that they're doing you a favor by discouraging you. These could be family, friends, associates, whatever, whoever they are. And my mindset now is I want to accept advice from people who I'm trying to become more like, right? Somebody who maybe financially is broke, living, paycheck to paycheck, or they are living a life that is not aligned with like what you're actually trying to create, but you're taking advice from them, like you're accepting what they're saying is truth. You're accepting that, and then it's stopping you from creating what you want to create. Be very mindful of that. And just what I found is that there will be people out there and not intentionally trying to stop your progress, but I think it's like subconsciously, if you're growing, then that reflects on them somehow. We had like a crazy experience we sold our house that we'd been in for 8 years and bought a new house, and it had been on our bucket list for a really long time of like, this is what we want. This is what we've been looking for several years. And when we made that shift, there were people who were like, that's so awesome. That is an awesome house. We're so excited for you. And then we had a few that were like, who do they think they are? Like, what are they doing? And there was some backlash from family, which was like, what in the world is this? Just know as you make progress in life, as you see where you're wanting to go, there will naturally be people who will stop your progress. And it may not be conscious, like a conscious thing to them. They might be thinking they're trying to protect you from making a mistake. And they just might not be entrepreneurial mindset, right? Like they might be an earned income mindset, and that's okay. But just identifying, do I trust this person? Are they living a life that I want to live? So should I be taking advice from that person because they've kind of forged a path and they've gotten to where I want to be? So I am going to accept some of those things that they say. Or if they're not, like, it's okay to just kindly disregard some of those things and go forward in confidence and find the guide, the mentor, the support, and be around the people who are those people that you're trying to become like, who have been there. So that, to me, that's just super important, to be mindful of that you're going to get some people kind of naysaying. So like when I was in the MBA program, a majority of these people had like good jobs. They weren't, like coming from like I'm poor or anything, but they were not happy with the jobs that they had. We had people who were attorneys and doctors, and we had them all in here thinking that if they come and get an MBA, that somehow when they go out, like life is going to be different for them. And I don't think that they were super clear on what they wanted. A lot of them that I was associating with weren't super clear on the where they really wanted their life, like the lifestyle to be, because what they were doing is they were just jumping into maybe a higher income, but a super overwhelmed, dictated to life, right? And they couldn't understand why I didn't want to go do an internship. Why, like, you're here, why would you not want to go work at this corporation and get all this experience? And the funny thing is, like, I was making over $500,000 a year as an MBA student. I was not there to increase my income by going to work for a corporation. And so for me, like some of them looked at me as, oh, you've created your income through network marketing and through online courses and being a coach, and almost like dismissive of that. But then I looked at my lifestyle, like I am present. Like yesterday morning, I had my grandson here before doing the boot camp. And I totally could do that because I am in charge of my schedule, right? If I need to, there's some deals on flights to DC, like I can go. I can put that in my schedule. I can afford it and I can go and I can take my kids to do that. That's the lifestyle that I intentionally want. And so for people who want things like that, then make sure that you're getting around people who have that type of lifestyle and giving more latitude to what they're saying and how they're creating it. It may not be exactly your path, but just be super, super mindful of that. One last thing before we end, I did want to say for those who are not don't have a business, one of the greatest reasons to have a business and an online business, a one where you work from home or wherever, is the tax benefits. So the people who really pay the most taxes are the people who are making a decent income, but they don't have like all the write-offs. Because the people who are in lower income brackets, they don't have to pay that much tax. And then people who make a lot, like I make a lot of money, but I don't pay that much taxes because the government gives me incentives to act in a certain way. So if I have a business that's creating things in the economy, it's helping to grow the economy, they're giving me tax breaks, right? So my office space, part of our utilities, a car, as far as traveling, my phone, a couple of kids work for me, so their phones, we have a whole lot more tax breaks than other people. As far as rental space, like one of my partners, we pay each other $1,000, which is like every month, for space that we're using certain things. We can pay our kids. And that's how I funded my kids' education fund, is that I can pay them as a tax write-off. So it reduces the amount of income that I'm showing in my business. And it's under a certain amount, if it's under like $13,000 per child, that they don't have to pay taxes on it. So it's like tax-free. And I have access to this because I have a business. Woo! I love that. And so be mindful of that, that sometimes even the taxes that you save, like think of that, especially in those first couple of years, you might not be making as much as you think that you would want to be making, but it's lowering your taxes. So count that, right? So I just wanted to bring that up. That's just such a great opportunity. And my kids are seeing that. My adult kids are like, oh, I'm doing my taxes and I have this write-off and this write-off and this write-off. And my friends, they don't, right? So just be mindful of that. Okay. So the thing that I want you to do today, like kind of your assignment, is I really want you, if you have not done that pre-boot camp assignment where you're listing out all your education, whether that's formal or self-education, your experiences and the things that you're passionate, interested in, right? So you have these 3 columns. If you haven't done that, like just start there, right? So you're mindful of, wow, I'm amazing. Like I have so much to offer. And then we can mesh that together of where does that intersect? What could that be that could be the thing that I can go out and provide value for people? So if you haven't watched that, go back. It's in the Facebook group. Watch that and do that exercise to make sure that you have that. You want to get clear on who you are. And then also you want to get clear on where you're at right now, as far as income and where you're at on the cash flow quadrants, right? And where you really want to be. It's kind of like, do I want to go to LA? Okay, I don't want to go to LA. I want to go to Banff National Park, right? Like that's my place. That's my vision. That's what I'm trying to create. I really do want to create residual income. I want to make an impact. I want to have a life where I'm present for my family. I want to be able to travel, whatever those things are for you. Like just get super clear on that, because online business can bring in the income to fund the lifestyle, right? And then you can use the bootcamp workbook to get clear on the right business for you. So some of you have come in and you already have a business that you're working on. Some of you are in network marketing and you're just wanting to up level that or add something to that. You may already be in the right business, right? And so if you don't need that, just skip it. But if you're like, I just don't know, or I don't know, my path right now, go to the bootcamp workbook, figure out get a little more clarity on the right business for you, because we're all different. And then you need to decide, do you want to do it yourself, right? Am I just going to do that? Or do I want to do it with someone, right? Ask yourself, will I do better? Am I one that I'm better just like putting my head down and grinding it out? Know yourself. Or do you do better if you're partnering with people, working with people, collaborating with people of some sort? Just know that for yourself. Okay. And you get to decide, right? You get to decide. I love that. My challenge to you is to show up tomorrow. Show up tomorrow. I'm doing some giveaways. We'll be doing some strategy sessions if people want to come on. I think I will probably send out the Zoom link to everyone. So if everybody wants to join for that first hour, that we can kind of go through some different things if you want to do that instead of just being on Facebook Live. And I will show you some behind the scenes actually in my business that is awesome. And then also be thinking, if you want to partner with someone, who could that be? I'm going to be showing you tomorrow what it looks like to partner with me and my team. And the thing that I know is that if I have somebody that's humble, which means teachable, if somebody that's hungry, that means motivated, and somebody that's honest, which means honest, I can help them create that income online that they're looking for. My strengths are in that area with business, with online business, figuring out strategies and challenges and what are your strengths and how this all works. Plus, I also have a system already in place. So if you don't have a thing that, I'm going to sell or I'm going to create, I already have something for you that you can tap into. And so come tomorrow and participate in that. See if this is something that you'd want to do. And no, I'm not going to sell you some like $50 bazillion program. That's not what this boot camp is about. This boot camp is helping you to see what it would take to create an online business or to maybe make some adjustments in the business that you have to be able to shift that online. And then, like I said, tomorrow is if partnering with someone is helpful, I want to show you what I have available to you to get going right now to be able to create the income, the earned income in the short term, but then the residual income in the long term. Okay, so I'm going to go. Are there any questions? Thank you, Bethany, for letting me know that the vacuum sounds are barely audible. That was a relief. And let's see. Hello, Sophie's on there. I'm trying to see if I have any questions. If not, or if you do, if you watch the replay and you have questions, you're welcome to post either in YouTube or in the Facebook group, any questions that you have. And then we're going to take a break now. I'll stop recording. Did I even start recording? I did start recording. Stop recording. We will take a break for our VIPs. Let me end these on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, we are going to take a quick break.